My uncle once poured holy water into a cement mixer. Today I found out why. Had he lived beyond the Iron Curtain, my uncle would have spent most of his life in a mental asylum. In communist Czechoslovakia, however, mental asylums primarily served as a means of punishing political opposition, so my uncle was relatively free. Well, for most of his life at least. Rural existence doesn't really lend itself to the nuances of mental health, so no one dwelled too far into his peculiarities. He was never formally diagnosed with anything, and I wouldn't dare try to play doctor, but rest assured he was far from stable. The village just considered him crazy and left it at that. Well, for most of his life at least. There was a horseshoe-shaped scar above his right eye. When I was a kid, I presumed he was strange because of that scar. But decades later, in hushed whispers after family reunions, I would find out my uncle was born strange. As a child, he would walk out onto the hill at the edge of the forest and howl at the moon like a rabid animal. He shunned the regular toy trains and wooden soldiers that the other boys would play with, and instead made his own dolls of sticks and straw. Once he was old enough not to require constant supervision, my uncle would disappear into the forest for days on end and would only return back to the village for food and water. When, in his late teens, my uncle arrived at the breakfast table with blood dripping down his forehead, his parents just assumed he had gone out on another misadventure.